You guys want to hear my Ross Plaskow impersonation? A bouncing DVD menu in Rive. Let's go. I'm sorry, Ross. I love you, and thank you for helping me with this project. All right, let's jump in. This is how to build a bouncing DVD menu in Rive. This is what it looks like at the end. If I pull back a little bit, you can see that the bottom, right, top, and left events are firing each time the DVD logo bounces off of it. Let's just start from the beginning. We make a new Rive file. It's going to call it DVD menu. If we want to be true to the DVD menu screen, though, we ought to make it 740 by 480, classic 4x3. Pull in the DVD logo as an SVG. I even think this size is working just fine. I'm going to go over here to the colors. I'm going to change it from solid to a linear gradient. And I'm just going to play with the colors a little bit until I'm happy with what it looks like. I press Y on my keyboard so that I can center the anchor point. We're going to create 3 other colors as well. So now we have 4 different colors of this DVD logo. I'm going to put them all into a solo object in Rive, right here. And this way, I can switch between them by just clicking on which solo is active. And I'm going to do that when it bounces off the walls. Now that we're done designing, let's go over to animate. We're going to set up our state machine. The key to making a good bouncing DVD menu is that you want to make sure it hits both walls, left and right, and then both the top and bottom. It's really simple. So let's make an X animation. We'll make it 4 seconds. We're going to start the DVD logo all the way on the left. For the other keyframe, just make sure it's hitting the wall on the other side. That is all we have to do for the X. And now I'm going to change the timeline from a one shot to a ping pong. So now it looks like this. 4 seconds was feeling a little bit slow, so I'm going to speed it up a bit and make it a 3-second loop. Now that we have our X animation done, let's make a Y animation. We'll do the same thing. We're going to start at the top with the first keyframe, making sure that this loop is a different amount of time than our X loop. So for this one, let's make it 2 seconds. We have it hitting the very, very top at the first frame and the very bottom on the second frame. And we'll turn it into a ping pong as well. This is what it should look like. So if this is all you want to do is have a DVD logo bouncing around your screen nonstop, all you have to do is set up 2 layers, one for the X, making sure that the entry is connected to it, and one for the Y. When I press play on the state machine, you can see that it's only moving in one direction. Usually that means that I've done something wrong with my timelines, and I've accidentally put a keyframe in one of the dimensions that I didn't want to animate. So let me just show you. Sure enough, if I go to the X animation, I do have a keyframe in the Y, so I need to delete that and make sure it is only the X that's moving in this timeline. And I'll go back to the Y, do the same thing, make sure that's only the Y that's moving. And now if we press play on our state machine, it should work exactly like we planned. So now how do we change the color with each bounce? This is where we can use Rive's events system. So I'm going to go to this artboard. I'm just going to create 4 events. I'm going to place them around the frame of the artboard just so I can keep track of them, but it doesn't really matter where we put them. And then I need to make a new layer for our state machine. We're going to call this the color layer. I'm also going to make 4 new timelines. And this is where we'll use solos. So we'll call this one color 1. With our solo activated, I'm going to make sure over here we've keyed the active solo layer to the DVD logo 1. There it is. We'll do this 3 more times so that we have 4 different timelines with the solo activated for that color. So now in order to make sure that these events fire at the right times, I'm going to go back to our X and Y timelines. The very beginning is where it should be on the left. So I'll select the left event and we'll key report event. And then at the end of the timeline, I'll select the right one and report that event. So now if we play this back, we should see these events fire once and the left. Great. In the Y, we'll do the same with the top and bottom. At the beginning, I want it to report the top event. At the end, we'll report the bottom event. There we have it. And now we can go back to our state machine. Under this new color layer in the state machine, we're just going to grab the any state. It will allow us to switch between the different timelines at any point during the animation. So that's what we want. We're going to set up all 4 of these colors right here in the state machine. What I had trouble with and what Ross helped me with was that I couldn't figure out how to get these conditions to be true. So how to get this any state to activate each of these colors using these events. And the way you have to do it is by adding a listener to the artboard. You don't add the listener to the event. You add it to the artboard. So right here under the artboard, I'll click add the listener. And now we have those events. We have the top, bottom, right, and left. So there is one more thing we have to set up before this state machine will work, which is we have to make an input. And that's going to be our number input for our color. So basically, if the color input is 1, it should go to color 1. If it's color input 2, it should go to color 2. And the event is what's going to change that number. And let's set up those conditions for each of these states. For the first one, the color needs to be set to 1 in order for it to go to color 1. This one, the color needs to be set to 2 in order to go to this timeline. Color should be 3. And then for this timeline, color should be 4. I'm changing the number just to test it. It does work. So with this artboard as the target, I'm going to set up 4 different listeners. This first one is going to be top, right, bottom, and left. So now I have 4 different listeners. I'm going to make sure over here on the right, it is targeting the correct event. So on the left one, the left event should be selected. And then I'm going to set the input to 1. The bottom, change this event to bottom, color 2, right, color is 3, and top, color 4. Now let's check it out. Sure enough, with each bounce, it's firing another event. And every time it fires an event, it's changing the input. If you're finding that it's hitting the corner too many times, let's be honest, the DVD menu screen never hit the corner this many times. So I got to fix that. We're going to go to our timeline. Instead of 3 seconds in the X timeline, let's make it 4. And in the Y, I'm going to change it from 2 to say 220. Now let's see what that did. It'll be a lot more rare for it to hit one of the corners now. And that's it. That's how you make a bouncing DVD menu. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.